Hey everybody, Mr. B here, and I hope that you've been having a great week, and hopefully you've been able to build some really cool Lego stuff. Let me know what you've been working on in the comments, because I really like to see what you guys are doing, because it helps give me ideas on the things that I might want to work on. Things have been pretty busy here in New Bricksburg. I've been working on several different projects, everything from the beach area to the main part of the city to Ninjagoland a little bit, which I'm going to do some updates on that one soon. To the far end of the city out of the camera shot here, which is kind of a mess right now. That's where I'm putting all the trees as I'm replanting and working on this area behind me. One thing you'll notice right over here is the overpass is coming back to the city. I decided this past week that I needed to free up some space because there's a few sets coming out that I'm going to try to incorporate into the city. One of them is a certain magical alley that you may have seen some teaser leaks for if you're out on Instagram or wherever. Let's see if I can fit it in here. I don't know. It looks like a really cool set though. It's like a must buy for me. I don't know how, if you guys think what you think about it if you've seen it, but it's a pretty cool set. So I'm reconfiguring a few things, but today what I want to do is I kind of want to do a little bit of a detail on something that I've been working on, and if you follow me over on Instagram, you'll know I've been working on it for a couple weeks now, and it's almost finished. Just got a few little finishing touches to do, and that is the garage. So, as you know, Lego has a really cool set. It's a really cool set. It's got tons of vehicles, all different kinds, from electric cars to hot rods to tow trucks. This little trailer is really cool, and it comes with this like garage, which is a really cool idea. But like most of these like Lego City sets, it's kind of like half implemented. It's almost like a facade. There's not like this. It's just not complete. And so, but I really like this design. I love this like sliding door. I like the color scheme. I just thought, this is really cool. The sign is awesome. And I thought, hey, I need something like this in my city. Why don't I create some kind of like modular based on that to kind of like make things, just to add something different. That's my own kind of creation and my own little touch of the city. So the end result is what you see behind me here, which I'm going to get into closer detail in a minute. But I thought I would just talk about, kind of the design process that went into it. Initially, I thought I wanted to make a 16 wide modular out of that. And so I started building it. I kind of laid it out. I realized you can only get one garage bay in a 16 wide. You have enough room for a door, and that's about it. The problem with the 16 wide design was that the sliding door had nowhere to go, because if it was only 16 wide and I want to slide that door, it's going to block one of the other modulars on either side of it, depending on which side the door is on. So then I said, well, shoot, I'm not going to be able to do the sliding door. Maybe I'll do a roll-up door. So I ordered some panels on Bricklink, and I put that in place, and I got it in, and then it just didn't have the same feel. And you guys gave me some great feedback on that, because it just wasn't the same with the roll-up door. It was fine, but it looked like like any other, like a police station or a fire station or the existing gas station corner garage modular. It just was too much of the same, compared to like this really cool set with this really unique sliding door effect. So that kind of became the focus for my I was just fixated on that door and how I could get that incorporated into my creation to get that to be a part of it. Finally, I decided, instead of going with the 16 wide, I decided to boost it up to a 32 wide. And so the 32 wide gave me a lot of flexibility, but I still had the problem with what to do with the door, because the door, if I slid it, on either side, first I split the door thinking, oh, I can have, like half and half, and then maybe it wouldn't block as much, but it was still blocking too much. And then when the doors were closed, you had just like an ugly wall. It was really a pain to figure this out. And then finally I had the aha moment, which is the end result, which you see over here. And so now let's take a little bit of a closer look at that, and I'll talk some more about it. Okay, so I knew that I wanted a 16 wide garage, which you see right there. I also knew I really wanted this sliding door. I hemmed and hawed on different ideas. How could I do this? And every time when I thought of just doing like a traditional flat, facing two buildings or one giant building or whatever, just right on the sidewalk, the door was blocking something, and it didn't look right to me. It was just off. So what I ended up, finally I had the aha moment. that this tuning shop also comes with a really cute doghouse, which you see right in there. So I decided, well, gee, I really want to have the doghouse too, because that's kind of a cute little addition. It matches the building, and it's just different, right? Because instead of just, the normal, buildings, which you see here, you can see the trees are all toppled because I'm still rebuilding the street. But, they're just, they're really cool and they're creative and they pop and they're different, but they're all flat. So then I started thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I could build a side yard and then have a building behind this little side yard, which is kind of the idea here. So then I started thinking, well, what kind of a building am I going to put there? I could just do a simple facade. And then I remembered, oh, I've got that, the Marvel Sanctum Sanctorum set with the Spider-Man that came out, it was like a year ago or so. I realized I had that set. And I said, you know what? That dark tan building would be perfect because the color scheme is good with the red. It kind of is complementary to each other. And I can put that as a back building and make it, just make that part of it, make this whole 32 wide modular, like 2 modulars, and incorporate 2 sets into one, and kind of get all the different design flow aspects that I really wanted. So when you see now the sliding door, it doesn't block anything when it's open. It actually just kind of covers the yard. And it doesn't even cover the yard all the way. You can still see into the yard if you look at it, especially from a higher angle. And then when you just close the door, you get to see more of the yard. So it's not really blocking anything anymore, which I really like. And then it was just a simple matter from there to just build a simple walkway next to the yard right here that goes into the I call it the Spider-Man building. I don't know what else you want to call it, but the dark tan building behind it, which I basically took the elements from that set and just kind of did them as is. So you have the pizza shop in the bottom, and then you have Spider-Man's like office, and then his bedroom up top. There's not a whole lot of detail in it. I'll probably add some more details later. And then I just kind of finished it off with a really cool water tower that actually comes with that set as well. Again, it's just like the light bulb went on for me and it just clicked. And I was like, this is awesome. So then it was just a matter of kind of adding all the little details and all the other little components that I wanted into there. But then I felt, you know what, there's something missing behind the garage now, because it needed, something else for more depth. And then that's where the sand green facade came in. Now that's a true facade. It's completely flat. There's just like a couple studs on the side, and it's set back farther than the brown facade next to it. Again, to give you that visual depth with the facade, so those aren't just a flat row of buildings behind you. But then again, that color I felt worked really well with the dark red, the dark tan, sand green. You have this end result, which I like a lot because it really kind of fits all together. And then with the dark brown next to it, and then the light gray, this color palette for me is just really starting to come together. I like the more earthy tones with my modulars. I'm not a fan of the real bright colors and stuff like that. But again, the end result that you see here is what I ended up with, and I was just really, really happy with that. So now, next I'm going to take a little closer look at the tuning garage. I'm going to pull it out for you so you can get a better look at kind of what I did and how I designed it. So we'll be back again. When you first look at this creation, especially from this angle, one of the first things that you notice is that the dark tan building is not very deep. It's only 8 studs deep, and that's basically to fit on the 32 by 32 base plate, and accounting for the sidewalk in the front, and then the garage, which is only about 20 studs deep. The problem I discovered is when I put it on the actual layout, that building really looked like a facade when it shouldn't have, and it actually looked funny because it just kind of ended, and it was like, well, wait, it should go on, and it should go further back. And especially when you try to like match it up with the facades behind it, it just didn't look right. So I did a really innovative thing for me to solve that. It's the first time I've ever done this, is I actually created a facade, but it's a side facade. So if you notice, there's no front because the front is that front. There's no back. I'll probably add a construction paper back because you can see through the windows a little bit, and you'll see my wall behind there. But basically all this does is it just extends that dark tan building and makes it deeper so that it looks like a finished building. So it's the same depth as any of these other modulars, like this one, for example. It's almost the same depth as this building. So it looks like 1, 2, and it just clips on at the top. And so when you put it on there, you have a nice finished building that's actually, it's actually like 14 studs deep, and it looks it looks finished. So that was the first thing that I had to deal with and had to like work through when I created this. As far as the garage goes, like I said, so it's 16 wide. It's about 20 studs deep. It has an interior, which I'm going to show you in a moment, for like the ground floor. The middle or the second story doesn't really have any, it's not completed yet, but you can easily make that the office for the owner. You can make it maybe their house. You can make it a storage area, whatever you need for the tuning garage, or it can be a bar. There's all kinds of, the options are limitless for that. But that can be a finished design inside as well. It doesn't go all the way back, the tuning garage, because I wanted to leave the option to put like some stairs up to that second floor in the back, because as you look in the inside of the garage, there's no stairs. I didn't put any stairs in there because it just takes up so much room. So my thought was I would build exterior stairs. So actually the depth of the rear of the garage is the same as that dark tan building. So I have enough room there. I can put a little stairway or something. Other than that, the roof finishings and stuff, the rooftop stuff, this is just, whatever designs I can come up with. This one, I've used before. This, is just trying to make it different, to vary it a little bit. I added some greenery just to give the color palette a little more pop. A little bit of vines growing up the building, which I'm probably going to extend eventually all the way up along here, just to give it, a little bit of color. Same thing with that little skinny tree. Then that kind of neatly hides the seam between the two buildings. Not that that seam is necessarily ugly, because the colors are fairly complementary, I think, but it just, gives you a little more visual interest, and it kind of breaks things up a little bit. I kept the water tower from the Sanctum Sanctorum set, because again, it's just a little bit of different, something different instead of just a boring rooftop. And then I tried to add like a small like air conditioner to this one. I'll probably try to add a few more things to the roof of the tuning garage as well, so that just to make it feel more alive. The yard, you can see that there's some detail in there. So there's the doghouse, of course. There's some, bins with tools and brooms and stuff. There's some old tires in there. Trash can. There's Jowls has his little bowl of food. I think he gets a lot of pizza from the pizza place as well, as people kind of walk by there. Maybe Iron Man will give him some pizza later. And then, again, this building butts right up against my Mos Eisley creation that you can see here. And so, again, the colors, I think, are fairly complementary. The dark tan works with the light tan. And then there is some dark tan elements in the Mos Eisley to just kind of all pull that together. Now, the one thing I also discovered, since I now have this like vacant opening here, is I need to add some more detail to the sidewall of the Mos Eisley, which again, I'm glad that that's there, because I don't have to modify one of like the official modulars, because I don't necessarily like to modify them too much, because I kind of like them as they are. But my creation, I don't have any problem tearing it apart and adding a little bit more detail to it. So those are all important considerations that I had as I was designing this. Now, in true modular fashion, each of the floors on this thing pop off. There's the top right there. I took that off so you can see inside. Now, I did try to do some finishing work on the inside of the garage. You can see I just added the shop owner. She's working on an engine that she had pulled out of a car. There's a little lift jack, and then these are just kind of the accessories that came with the set. I just threw them in there, made a little checkerboard floor for like the work area, and then just put some dark gray tiles in the actual like garage bay. There's not a whole lot of room in there, but it's enough, and it looks, busy enough, because you're really only ever going to see it from the front here. So when you look in there, you see some, there's some stuff going on. The sliding rear door actually does work, and it actually slides out, so you can actually open it up and go to the back, but there's, as you can see, there's nothing in the back right now. So I just leave that closed for now. And that is just another, because I had an extra door part, so I was able to just kind of take that and add that to the back, so you could drive all the way through and get a little bit more room. Here you can just see a better like close-up of the actual yard. There's just some tires in there, some weeds, that kind of stuff, some like bottles, and I need to add probably some more junk in there. If you have ideas on what I can add, let me know, because that's the kind of stuff where I kind of struggle with adding all these little details and stuff. And then there's just a few people walking around. I'm going to have the hot rod parked up front because it seems appropriate. I'll probably add some more like flowers or plants along here. And you can just see like the pizza shop. I just kind of took the stock pizza oven. There's not a lot to it. Peter Parker's little desk with his chemistry microscope and some you know, potions and stuff in there. He's got the boxes that came with the set, and then of course his bed. And there's not a lot to it beyond that, but you can just kind of get a feel for how I created this thing. All right, so that is pretty much the tour of the tuning garage. It was a lot of really fun project to work on. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of challenges, and it was kind of like thinking outside the box of like a more traditional boxy modular that I've made in the past. Most of mine tend to be like boxes with just different, you know, architectural features. This was the first time I actually made one that had like a recessed, like 2 modulars, but they were recessed more like assembly square might be. And so it was really fun to kind of figure out how to do that and how to get everything to fit the way I wanted to. So it was really pretty neat. I really like taking these like creator sets or city sets that are kind of like half completed by Lego, and taking them and turning them into like a full featured, you know, building that actually looks like it belongs in the city next to the other modulars. So that's like kind of a really fun thing, because it gives me like good ideas seeing these sets. So I'm like, oh, that's a really neat set. You know, I love this set. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then, you know, you build it and you're kind of disappointed because you're like, oh, it's like a half garage, and where am I going to put it? You know, what am I going to do with this now that I have it? It doesn't fit, you know, all this other like really cool creator modulars that Lego comes out with, and you're like, what am I going to do? So that's, you know, part of the fun for me is just doing that, taking it and making it bigger, making it better. And then again, that's the beauty of Lego, is you can do that. You can easily, you know, you just get some parts, you just start adding on, and next thing you know, you have something that looks like it fits in with the city. You know, it just kind of, it works, and it's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative, and hopefully maybe it'll give you guys some ideas on things that you can do. You know, don't be afraid to build. Don't be afraid to tear stuff apart, and don't be afraid to dream big and think, and just, you know, just make it how you want. You know, make it your own creation. You can take and modify things and make it your own. You know, even if it's a modular, you know, you change the color scheme on it, redo things. You know, make it different. And if you don't like it, you can tear it apart and do it again. That's the joy of Lego, and that's why it's so much fun. Things are always changing. Things are always changing in New Bricksburg, so don't be afraid to change stuff. So thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, and I promise you that lighting instructional video is going to be coming soon. I want to do it justice, so I've been working on it, trying to make sure I cover all the bases and stuff, but that one's going to be coming really soon. And also, we'll probably do another video on this overpass, and I'll give you some more in-depth look at how I designed that, how I get support the road plate on top, and all that good stuff. So we'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.